It's the Fisherman's Catch Coaches Show on Eagle Country 103.9. Each week, we preview and review all the stories in Ilwaco High School athletics. Now let's take the field, tee up, hit the mat, and settle into the starting blocks for the Fisherman's Catch Coaches Show on Eagle Country 103.9.
And welcome to the Fisherman's Catch on Eagle Country 103.9, brought to you in part each week by Taft Plumbing and Septic in Ocean Park. I'm Sean O'Connor, talking to Kevin McNulty, the Ilwaco High School Athletic Director, on all things fisherman sports, and we're winding down the fall season right now. The football team just got themselves another big win in league play on Friday, which thankfully was not another Monday night game for you, Coach, and taking on an Ocosta team that was kind of desperate for a win, but it was just kind of your night. The fishermen came out and looks like they were pretty successful in all phases of the game, winning 55-6, pretty convincing win. So take us through how this game played out Friday.
Well, we started fast and we continued moving from that point on. We received the ball, and within 48 seconds we were in their end zone, and we just didn't let up. Our kids played, whether it be homecoming, whether it be the opponent or whatever, we were ready to go. And a little bit concerned, having played on Monday and didn't have a favorable outcome against PWV, seeing what was going to happen on homecoming Friday. And as I had mentioned last week, at the high school level, you don't always know what to expect on that homecoming game, whether there's going to be focus throughout the week or all the activities that go on. And I'd have to say that our kids were ready to play football and did so. We had everybody in the second quarter. Our JVs finished the half, and then we started the second half with our starters and went down the field and scored, and then appropriately so we pulled them and played the remainder of the game with our JV kids getting significant playing time on Friday night.
Wow, so a really strong performance here from your team that I think you might say really needed it after that Monday night game where the wheels kind of came off there when you were playing pretty well. So what do you think was the big difference between playing Willapa Valley and then Friday night's game?
Well, the opponent, number one.
Yeah.
PWV, I spoke with their coaches this week on Saturday, and they said that thus far the best game that they've played this year happened to be on Monday night against us. That being said, we may have played our worst game on Monday night, and I think some of that had to do with the opponent. PWV is a good team. It was their type of an environment. It was their homecoming, and we weren't clicking on all cylinders. Although we had ample opportunity, we had the ball down inside the 10 twice and inside the 20 another time and didn't come away with a score. This Friday, roles were reversed, and our kids come out, whether it be senior night and homecoming, whatever the case, our kids were clicking, and we were able to give them a 1-2 punch with our running attack. Is Alec Bell's first start since his injury in week 2.
Okay.
And that also brings something to our team. He had played against PWV on Monday sparingly this week, and it was a game time decision, basically deciding that, hey, we're going to start Alec. He looked good through the week at practice. He was able to make it through Monday's game without aggravating his hamstring, so we did start him. In his first carry or two, you could tell he was clicking on all cylinders, and he brings something to the team. And you look at it, I know Jack O'Neill feels very comfortable having him out as a back out of the backfield and catching the swing pass or the flat route. And Jack hit him twice in the game for touchdowns early on those routes. And then, of course, he requires that a defense make him the focus point, and that affords us opportunities to get other kids involved. We've gotten better because of, Alec missing some weeks the other kids had to develop, but we're really, really excited to have him back. And, our seniors, we have 9 of them, and they had a good showing on Friday night.
Yeah, really good performance for your team, and gives them some confidence here going into the last game of the season and getting closer to postseason play too, because now we're going to be talking about playoff positioning here for this last Friday of the regular season. So let's just kind of talk about where your team is at right now. How do you feel about how they're playing and going forward here into the playoffs? How about like where the confidence level is at?
Well, I think our kids are feeling good about where we're at. As coaches, we see improvement, and we still have a couple things that we need to shore up, and we'll say that through the end of the season. But we're getting better, and we're really, in fact, at the coaches meeting this past weekend, one of our things was, rather than adding a bunch of stuff, we're going to start deleting stuff from our playbook. You know, stuff that we haven't done well. If we haven't done it real well to this point in a season, we need to start focusing on the things that we do well.
Yeah.
And maybe come to the realization that, hey, we haven't done that real well. There might not be enough time left in the season to get real good at that.
Yeah.
And so we're doing some of those things. We've got some challenges ahead of us, and we know that. And it was good to play at home, and our objective is to play one more game at home.
Yeah.
And the only way we do that is take care of business this week, and then we are afforded a crossover playoff game. So, we have some things to work on. We need to have a really focused week of practice this week, and look forward to it.
All right, it was a good, dominant win over the Ocosta Indians last Friday, 55-6, and that sets them up here for a final league game here next Friday night, and we'll be talking about that here next on the Fisherman's Catch, brought to you in part by Taft Plumbing and Septic in Ocean Park. We'll come back and keep talking to Kevin McNulty, the head football coach here at Ilwaco High School, on the Fisherman's Catch on Eagle Country 103.9. And welcome back to the Fisherman's Catch on Eagle Country 103.9, brought to you in part each week by Taft Plumbing and Septic in Ocean Park. We're talking to Kevin McNulty, the Ilwaco High School athletic director, about the Fisherman football team, which he is the head coach for. And later on in the show, we'll talk about the volleyball and cross-country teams as well. But let's get back to talking about the football team here. Looking back at this big game against Ocosta and getting a nice, decisive win. What was the big takeaway from this game?
Well, we really were able to confuse Ocosta with using multiple formations. And they didn't know how to defend it, quite frankly, from play to play. And we were able to utilize that to our strength. Defensively, we had a great game plan. In fact, we gave up a touchdown, but that wasn't the defense's problem. That was more of an offensive. We had a miscue up front, missed a block, got sacked, and the ball fumbled free, and they recovered it on the 3-yard line. Our defense still did a great job keeping them out till 3rd or 4th down, but they did score, and that one was on offense, not the defense. So the defense did an outstanding job and continues to improve. With the exception of the one game, PWV, we've done a pretty respectable job defensively.
Yeah.
Coach Enos and staff have put together defensive game plans, and our kids have executed. So we felt good about that. Offensively, they had a difficult time with our running attack. We were able to throw the ball some. I think we are 9 for 12 passing. We obviously didn't throw a great deal after we were significantly ahead. There's just no need to do that. And so we backed off and got a lot of guys playing time, and we went through injury-free. And that's, at
Big.
this point in the season, that's huge.
Yeah. All right, so a big win over Ocosta, and I agree with you. The defense had been playing quite well leading up to that Willapa Valley game, which kind of made the results a little bit more surprising, I think, looking back on it. So do you think the defense now is a little bit more focused and ready to go here for this next game, which is at North Beach, going to be hitting the road again? What do you see coming out of this game?
Well, North Beach is a great opponent. They're 2-time defending league champions. They won't win it this year, but they are in a dogfight for that second spot. That second spot is a spot we'd like to have, and it's a spot we're in control of. We're in control of our own destiny. We win, we're second. If we come out on the short end of things, then we have to go to South Bend on Monday night and play in a Kansas City tiebreaker.
Wow.
So there's a lot riding on this game. It is at North Beach in Ocean Shores. Senior night for them, the whole deal, the playoff implications. Because for North Beach, if they come out on top, that's their only chance to move up the food chain into the playoffs. Otherwise, Ilwaco win, North Beach finishes 4th out of our league, and they are a crossover with Napavine, the number 1 ranked team in the state. They know that. We know that. There's a lot of motivation on both sides. We get the win. We host the crossover playoff game. And right now, it could change this week, but right now that's Tootle Lake. Tootle Lake is a team that we played in week 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And at home. And there's a shot we might do that again. Now there's a big might there because we got to take care of North Beach.
Right.
North Beach is a physical team. They're large in size. They've played some teams comparable to the way that we've played them. And the difference between Ilwaco and North Beach right now happens to be that Raymond football game. We beat Raymond, and Raymond beat them. So Raymond beat them. I believe the score was 46-20. And, Raymond has some weapons, and we just happened to be able to play keep away from Raymond, which meant a big difference for us. And we had them at home. North Beach played them at Raymond. And then this past week, PWV played us on Monday. They turned around and played North Beach on Friday night. I watched that game film. PWV did win. They beat North Beach 42-24. And, that's a good football game. It was at North Beach, so it's not the easiest of places to play. The kids there will fight for 48 minutes, and we're going to have to be ready to go to war. We have to do what we do well, and we have to stop their offense. And their offense is tough, deceptive, unorthodox. Coach Hugh Wyatt calls the offense up there, and he's a double wing guy, so everything is derived from the wing tee, ankle-to-ankle splits, big kids, 6'4", 275, 6'3", 280, those type. They got a couple of those. Got a tight end that's good-sized, 220-pound kid. And they put them next to each other and just kind of build a wall. You can't see around them. You got to get below them. And if you stand up, you get knocked into the next level. So we do have some challenges, and it would be nice for us to get a score or two and just stay on it and keep the ball away from them. So we'll see. A lot riding on it for Ilwaco fishermen.
Yeah,
it'll be an opportunity for us to take care of business and host our first crossover playoff game ever at Ilwaco. So our kids are well aware of that. The same token, we can't beat ourselves.
Yeah.
We can't get so stressed and so wound up, so tense that we can't perform. So there's a fine line. We know what's out there. Our kids know what's out there. But we can't beat ourselves. We just can't beat ourselves. We got to stay in a ball game. And we're going to have some good things happen. We're going to have some bad things happen. So are they.
That's football.
And this game's going to come down to, just like every week, 5 or 6 big plays. I don't know when they're going to occur. So we got to play hard each and every down and look forward to doing that on Friday night.
Well, it's a really good position for your team to be in here. Controlling your own destiny is exactly what you want this time of year. So we'll take a break here in the Fisherman's Catch and come back and have a final football thought, and then get into the volleyball and cross-country schedule. You're listening to the Fisherman's Catch here on Eagle Country 103.9. And welcome back to the Fisherman's Catch here on Eagle Country 103.9. And it's brought to you in part each week by Taft Plumbing and Septic in Ocean Park. Talking to the head football coach and Ilwaco High School athletic director, Kevin McNulty. And we need to talk about a little bit more of the fisherman football situation here. Just kind of stepping back a little bit to that scenario where if you don't get this game against North Beach, you would be forced into a situation where you would have to play 3 nights later on a Monday night in that little format. That is such an unusual situation to be in for a football team anyway. Tell me about that situation and how you see that possibly playing out if it comes down to that.
Well, I hope it doesn't. I really, truly hope it doesn't, but you have to be prepared in case it does. And I guess our fan base out there probably wants to know a little bit about it. And this would be what happens. First of all, North Beach would be sky high because it's their only opportunity to not be 4th place.
Right.
When we beat them, they're in 4th, and they're going to Napa Vine, and they can have fun doing that. We've done it before. Napa Vine's a good football team. So that being said, Raymond is sitting in the number 3 spot right now. Raymond having beat North Beach. Their only chance to move up is for a North Beach victory. Of course, they can go the other way, too. In a Kansas City tiebreaker, they could end up 4th. For Ilwaco, we control our own destiny. We're in 2nd. But if we were to lose, we could end up 2nd, 3rd, or 4th. And the way that would be determined is on Monday night, like you'd mentioned, at South Bend High School, the 3 of us would get together, and they'd have an odd man out, coin toss, and the other 2 teams would play, and the winner would advance, the loser would have to play the team that sat, and et cetera, and you find out who's your number 2 and number 3 and number 4, and you run it from the 25-yard line in. Exciting for fans. I don't care to do it. Not exciting for me as a coach because we want to take care of business on Friday night, and I don't want to have to live through that. I've done it before as a player, way back. I've done it as a coach a couple times, and it's an intense situation.
Right.
Because I've watched teams go out and fumble their first snap, the other team recovers, and then it's the other team's ball. And they march down and score or throw one play over the top on a pass and score, and it's over. It's done. So we don't want to be in that situation. And, again, I've mentioned it, but Friday night there's a lot riding on this.
Big game.
Yeah, and I am sure, as I am sitting here, that North Beach is going to do everything they can to have their stands filled with black and gold of the Hyaks from North Beach. So I guess an all call to Ilwaco fans. We need you there. We need your support and to hear some of the people yelling for the blue and gold. A lot of motivation for both teams.
Wow, what an amazing atmosphere that's going to be at North Beach on Friday. Well, let's get into the volleyball and cross-country schedules here. The volleyball team has had some really big league games recently.
We have, and unfortunately, we were sitting in a spot where we thought we were going to be a district tournament team, and last week's loss to North Beach went 5 games, and it was back and forth. We ended up losing the 5th one, and that really we aren't in control of our own destiny right now. So we do play this week, and we host Raymond for senior night, and then we play at Northwest Christian, and those will be our final 2 unless the right things happen league-wise and we end up getting in there somehow or in a playoff situation for that 7th spot. Otherwise, we're finished with volleyball, but we're hoping, and the flip side is if we can get a couple upsets, which it would be against Raymond, a pretty good team, then we can throw a rhubarb in the whole thing, and it wouldn't be bad to be the one throwing a monkey wrench in things. So we're still holding out some positive thought, but we've got work ahead of us, quite frankly, and that'll all be determined. Cross country, We had an outstanding performance this past week at the league championships, and where we finished second in the boys and second in the girls.
Wow.
And we're doing some great things there. And this week we head to district on Saturday at Onalaska up near Centralia. And that's the big one. That's what the kids are preparing for this week. Kind of have some good training here early in the week, little recovery phase, and then attack on Saturday. And see if we can advance both teams, boys and girls, over to the Tri-Cities to the state championships. I really believe we have a legitimate shot. Coach Taylor believes so. She's done a nice job with our program.
Yeah.
And now we just need to get qualified and see if we can do it. You just never know. Like we've discussed before, they're high school kids, and it might look good on paper, but we need to go run on Saturday in the elements and see how things turn out.
All right. Well, congratulations to both the cross-country teams on their second-place finishes. That's excellent. So the cross-country teams are headed for Alaska this coming weekend. The volleyball team trying to hang in there for the postseason. And we all know what's going on with the football team. They've got a really big game coming up Friday at North Beach. And we'll talk more Fisherman Fall sports next week here on the Fisherman's Catch, brought to you in part by Taft Plumbing and Septic in Ocean Park. And Coach, before we go, what else you got?
Well, just thoughts go out to our announcer, Rod Anderson, who's in the hospital right now. And we're wishing him a speedy recovery. He's been the mouth of the fishermen for a lot of years, and he's kind of our sports historian. So, Rod, hopefully you're listening out there, and we're all thinking about you.
All right. Well, best wishes to Rod and all the fishermen teams here this coming weekend. That's going to do it for the Fisherman's Catch with Kevin McNulty, and we'll meet you back here next Wednesday night on Eagle Country 103.9.
This has been the Fisherman's Catch Coaches Show on Eagle Country 103.9. Join us each week during the school year at 6 p.m. Wednesdays as we take a closer look at Ilwaco High School athletics on Eagle Country 103.9.